6 p.m. in the meeting room. Moving down now on the resolutions. Resolution number 118-2014. Consider payment application number 1 to Bar Excavating Incorporated for the Coleman Road emergency repair in the amount of $127,811.15. Now, I know the bid was more than that, Dan. Are you basically holding back enough to do the 100 feet of paving or so?
Yeah, we're holding back the paving. We're still holding back retainage in the amount of 5% on the project at this point in time. So yeah, there's plenty of money left to do what needs to be done with the project.
When I went out and looked, it looked like it was well done. It looked like it will do the job for what we need there.
Yeah, it's substantial. So we're just, my recommendation would be to make payment to Bauer in the amount on the agenda.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay. Resolution number 119-2014. Discuss the addition to the municipal building. Well, one of the things I'd like to bring up about it is our actions that we did last month to move forward with it at that point was because of a letter that we had received from a municipal authority at that time. It was dated on May 22nd. And the municipal authority board had held a lengthy discussion last night's meeting concerning the need for more office space. And after the discussion, the municipal board had said that they were willing to pay $2,000 per month, which included utilities, and they requested a 5-year lease with 2 5-year options. And now they said that it was imperative to move forward with this so that they could acquire their additional office space. So that's what we had done at that time. Well, this past month we had received an email from them that Dawn had forwarded to us, and the fact is that they didn't want to pay the $2,000 a month. Now, they did have a meeting, but I didn't have the opportunity to go to it. Cindy, you've gone to it.
I attended a meeting with some of their board members to discuss their reconsideration of the $2,000. Frank attended with me. And in,
I don't know what date it was. We already had an email. There was an email sent to everybody.
And asked who could attend. I don't remember the exact date, I'm sure.
Do you remember the date, Dawn?
I don't know that it came via email. In any case, Andy couldn't attend. The only people that showed up were myself and Frank.
When was it? You don't know?
I don't know the exact.
It's in the email.
Yeah. It's kind of irrelevant. But anyways, they reconsidered their $2,000 offer and were initially saying they only wanted to pay approximately $1,300 a month. When the meeting initially started, we told them no way. We couldn't even come close to covering our costs at $1,300 a month. We negotiated for about an hour back and forth, and they had come up with some options, we came up with some options, and we left. Part of the reason that this is on the agenda this month is my opinion, and I need your opinion as well, would be to ask the manager to write a letter to the municipal authority asking them to reconsider their options outside of the township building. We were willing to do it when they were willing to pay $2,000 a month, but we can't expend a large amount of taxpayer money without being able to recover it. So
I think one of the points that was brought up too somewhere along the line was the fact that they thought that they could get office space is the point.
That was brought up several times. They could get office space for $16 to $19 a square foot in South Point. I understand that, but we're not a real estate development company. We're a government entity. We're just trying to cover our costs. So where they may be able to build it at a lower cost than we can, we couldn't compete with that. And so my opinion would be, and I expressed that in the meeting, would be for them to look elsewhere and to try to find something that better met their needs and didn't cause us to spend a lot of money every month just for them.
And what had happened too, when they sent us the letter that they were saying that they weren't willing to pay the $2,000 anymore, we asked Dawn to stop the engineer's work on the addition also. So I agree with that too. I was rather upset that they backed out of their promised $2,000 what they were going to go originally. So what I would like to do is ask that we have John Smith, our solicitor, send them a letter asking to be reimbursed for our engineering costs on this from the Municipal Authority. And I feel like Cindy...
They eventually did go up to $1,600. They had asked that we take out a loan and we extend our loan out 15 years. I had concerns, and I expressed this in the meeting, that I didn't want to strap future boards with an addition that in all reality we wouldn't do. If they hadn't come to us and said we need additional space, we wouldn't be considering an addition on the back of the building. And I expressed that to them. The only reason we were considering an addition on the back of the building was in an effort to make things easier for the residents and keep the municipal authority here. But I don't want to say they didn't want to understand that, they were trying to keep their costs low, and so that's why this is the position that we're in now.
But I really...
Do they pay anything, do they pay anything $100?
$500 a month.
And I just wish that they would have come forward with what they really wanted to spend in the beginning, instead of giving us this letter saying that they were doing $2,000.
Utilities. We provide the cleaning.
In my opinion...
They're an arm of the township, though.
What?
I mean, so what? They're an arm of the township. Our zoning hearing, I mean, our zoning department, they have fees established. We give building permit fees and development fees, and they take in more than they actually would cost us.
Well, this initially started with
It initially started, they used to be at the old township building for free, and when we moved down here.
I mean, the idea of an addition onto the building.
Oh, no, never. My only suggestion was, we have an empty space there, is to move Janet next door, and they could gain one extra office space over there.
And when we had that meeting, everybody kind of felt that that would jam us up too much over there, that we'd be too much on top of each other.
And they didn't
So,
think it was enough for me either.
and that's whenever...
It was proposed. I mean, did no one do anything, any research?
Well, that was
on
my
it?
first question to them, because when they actually did the math, they said,
Didn't the township do anything?
we knew what we were getting into. They came into the meeting and said, well, if you do the math, it's $24 a square foot. I was kind of like, well, you should have done that before you wrote us a letter saying you were willing to pay $2,000. I mean, you can't.
I'm just to the point now where I'm done with it. I think we asked John for them to reimburse. Dawn, you find out exactly what the costs were so that you can relay it to John. John, you write a letter. And I don't know what everybody else on the board feels. I'd like to hear what everybody says.
In the interest of saving costs, I mean, I could include it in my letter that we are seeking reimbursement. I don't think that it's necessary to get John involved.
Whatever you
Not
want
that I
to
would
do.
take that out of his pile, but
If you want to send a letter,
I
that'd be
can
fine.
just roll
I
it
just
all.
want the letter sent from somebody.
that's fine. I'll roll it all into the same manner.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, I'll handle that if that's okay with the board.
Yes.
What's your position on this? What do you think?
You gotta keep them here. I mean, I'd like to keep them here. I know it's not our say, but I'd like to keep them.
I honestly think, and I probably shouldn't say this in public, that when they go out and really see what's out there, that they are going to come back. They're not taking into consideration costs that we were willing to absorb, architectural fees, things of that nature. When you go out, one of the things they mentioned was the old PNC building. Well, as is, it's not going to fit their needs. So there would be some sort of cost to retrofit it to the standard that they need that I don't think that they're really considering. So at this point, I think they need to be let go, to really take the chance to see what's out there before we try to sit down and negotiate with them again.
And I have a little bit of a problem. Whenever we did talk to them before, we asked them for a price that they were willing to pay, and then they backed out of it. So
I mean, they
it
went
comes
so
down
far
to
as
a
to write
credibility
us a
issue as far as I'm concerned. Whether we can trust what they would make it and bring us. So, I mean, they did say that there was options at South Point or PNC with the bank down there, and I think that it's time to let them explore those. So.
Agreed.
Agree.
Is there any other discussion on that? Everybody okay then? All right, we're going to move on to the next. Discuss the fire department's meeting. On 6/18, On June 18th of 2014, we held a public meeting. All 3 fire departments had representatives there. All 5 supervisors were there, and our police chief, Chief Bukovinsky, was there. Some of the notes I have coming out of that meeting was all 3 fire departments are working together so that they don't duplicate costs, is what was one of the things that were brought up. I thought that's a great idea. We discussed the radio communications between the fire and the police departments, and I know I've asked Dawn to look into the agreements for the cell phone towers that we have out there, so we can move forward on that. All 3 fire departments are developing a comprehensive plan for the supervisors to review. This comprehensive plan will let us know where they want to be maybe 3 to 5 years out. And they're going to send it to us to review for our October, November budget meetings. This will enable the supervisors to properly fund all 3 fire departments. We can look at what you need and kind of consider everything and try to work it into our budget. I thought that was a great idea that we've come up with between everyone. And on the South Bridge EMS, there were some issues brought up about the response time. And one of the things I've done with it already is I've called Dan Miller, and he's pulling up response times for April and May, so I can turn around and look at them and we can address any concerns with that too. So these are some of the things that we moved forward with in that meeting. I thought it was very positive. I thought it basically got a lot of the things out there that we needed to know. And I don't know how the fire departments feel about it, but I think it was a good step forward.
It's good to see you.
Great.
And we can keep moving forward on this. We're planning kind of another meeting come maybe September, October, right before we do our budget meeting, so that we can sit down and discuss further. And we'll keep moving as we talk with you, get these issues, and we got moving on them. We'll discuss it even further. We'll contact you and move forward.
And we're going to talk about the pink elephant in the room too, about the mill. Can't avoid that.
Well, that's basically what we're talking about with the budget and our comprehensive plan too.
That's not telling anybody here what the
Go ahead,
discussion was.
explain it
Well, I don't
to
want to explain it. I'm just saying I don't want to ignore it.
It was brought up that we raised the fire department, the tax that we pay to them from 1 mil to 2 mils. And that's a good possibility, and I said that's, or 2 to 3, excuse me, I had that wrong, 2
Take
to
1
3.
mil from the general fund, so that they would have 3 mils.
To raise it from 2 to 3 mils. So,
There was no discussion on how to get that 1 mil, or that extra mil.
Well, I said take it from the general fund.
It's easy to say.
Right, that's what I said.
but I think,
Raise our taxes.
She did say that it's correct. Nothing was formalized. All we discussed was options. Raise the fire millage to 3 mils fire tax, or possibly 2 mils plus a mil from the general budget, which we don't have control of. We were just discussing options, Tom. If that's the way I wrote it down.
We also asked to lock in the 2 mils, and you said you couldn't do that.
what was that again, Tony? I couldn't hear that.
We also asked for you to lock in the 2 mils so they're not ever taken away from us.
Well, we could always make
You
a motion to
explained
do
why
that.
you wouldn't
But,
hold other boards to that.
it could be
We
changed,
understand
yeah.
that. But that was a big issue, to lock in the 2 mils.
We could vote for it right now. I'm not opposed to doing that at all, but just so you understand that in 2 years, another board could be here and change it.
Right, we're not discussing, we're just discussing what was discussed. We're not saying you promised this or that. We're just saying these are the things that were discussed. Whether we're gonna lock into a 2 mil or 3 mil or whatever. And don't misunderstand, we're not, bottom line is, we're just talking options. We weren't holding anybody to the fire. There was nothing in writing that we were gonna do anything. But based on what we do decide though, is how we plan to do our budget.
And that's why we wanted that comprehensive plan, to know exactly where you wanted to be down the road so that we can try to work with you to achieve those goals too. And I really don't have a problem with showing you that we're supporting you by locking it in on the 2 mils right now and saying we guarantee you that, and we'll just go ahead forward with the comprehensive budget and see what we could possibly add to that. I'll make the motion, we lock it in right now for the 2 mils.
What does that mean, lock it in?
Basically, they were saying that,
What do you mean when you say lock it in?
when they were saying the fact that we dedicate 2 mils to them right now and that it could be changed down the road, we're trying to tell them that. But I would be willing to step forward and say, we will dedicate the 2 mils to you and make a motion to do that.
Can't do that.